Hi there, ready to take a closer look at the new Sketch Florals stamp set? Come join me and I'll show you a fun idea on how to use it in a memory keeping layout. Hi there, and welcome to a new episode of Inspired by a Card with Natalie. Today we're going to be using the Sketch Florals. This is one of the newest sets from Mountain New to create a project. And we're going to combine the designs of this stamp set to create my memory keeping layout. And the inspiration for today actually came from one of the guest designers, Laura Jane. She used the stamp set and the new color inks in a fun way in this beautiful card, and I thought that I can borrow some of her inspiration for my layout. So I'm going to start that I want to create a pocket page today, a 6x8 spread with a double 4x4 pockets. So the idea that I draw from the card that Laura Jane created is that she created a background that is very neutral using the stamp set. She used only the outline, the one that creates the sketch of the flower. So I'm going to do the same for my layout. So you're going to see that I'm masking around 4.5 inches of the top of my page. I want just to add that detail just to a part of my layout. So I'm going to stamp, like I said, around 5 inches, 4 3/4 of the top of my page is going to be full with the stamping. I'm going to create my own pattern paper only using the sketch image of the stamp set, and I'm going to do the same for the cards, like only partial stamping. So you're going to see that when I'm going to start stamping, first of all, I am using one of the new inks. This is navy, and when I start stamping, I create a zigzag with my stamps. I don't want to cluster them. I want to have some space in between them, but I also want to make sure that the movement of the flower and the design is dynamic. That means that think of it as stamping in a triangular shape, or in my case in a zigzag. So I'm starting with one of the shapes, then I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm leaving plenty of space in between. I am rotating the stamp as I go along because I don't want it to be in the same what we call it, the same placement or design. I want to have some movement on this page. Once I'm happy with the flowers, you're going to see I have that big space there. I'm going to add another flower there. I'm going to start using some of the stems and the leaves just to fill up the space. At the same time, even though I'm trying to fill up the space, I don't want to overcrowd it, meaning that it's just going to look like a big blob of blue. I wanted to have those little details so that it reads as a pattern paper and there is a rhyme and reason to it. That's what I say. Just little things that you have to consider. Don't overcrowd your page. Do not, give some breathing space and kind of create a movement with your flowers. That means you have to rotate them. That means you have to create a zigzag with them. So it looks a little bit varied and it's going to be very uniform, unless that's the look you're going for. But it's kind of hard with this type of sketch flowers because they don't have a defined look. So having something that's kind of more on the whimsical and I'm going to call it moving fluid way works perfect for this. So you're going to see I've created the background already for my 6x8. I'm going to repeat that for my 4x4 card. So I just want a partial impression. So I've done that, set them aside. Now I'm going to use the same stamp set to create the embellishments for my layout. This time I'm going to use the second design that comes inside the flower. So the sketch florals have two stamps in them, one that creates or colors the flower and the second one that creates kind of the sketch, or think of it as the line drawing that holds the flower together. So I'm going to use my stamp wheel to just speed up the process, and I am going to stamp four of each one of the florals, and I'm staying with colors like blush, rouge, and I'm using the new coral red just because those are the colors that are in the pictures that I'm using for this spread. Now you're gonna see that I am being very careful, to make sure that I have a nice stamping impression, because when you look at the stamp, the second part that you're going to add to it is usually the one that creates the sketch and also kind of the lines, the florals. I am not going to use the typical black. Instead, I'm going to go with a darker tone of red. So that's why I said I'm going to make sure that I have a good impression of the color, so when I add the line, you actually see that nice look. And I am using coral red for the lightest colors, and for the lighter flower I'm going to use terracotta, which is one of the new colors that also was just released. So now I'm going to set my flowers, I've die cut them, I'm going to set them aside. I'm going to start working on what I need for this layout, and I wanted something that was going to bring some translucency to the page at the same time that's going to create a little bit of division between the picture and the background. So I'm going to create my own color vellum. For this, I actually cut a piece of vellum and I just run in some of the new navy ink on it. And it's very saturated. One thing about vellum is that it doesn't soak up the color. It kind of stays on top. So once I color not color, but I just apply the ink, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of take some of it out, so until the color is completely dry and there's just like a hint of color on the vellum. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and trim it just to fit as a matte for my picture. Remember, I want the translucency because I don't want to lose the background that I created, but I want to add a little bit of separation between, the background and the picture. Once I have that, I'm just gonna go ahead and set it in place. I'm gonna set it towards the bottom of my layout so that I can see a lot of the stamping that I create, but I marry the two sides together. And you're gonna see I have my 4x4 cards. I'm gonna do pretty much the same idea for this side of my page too. So now I have my design ready. It's all about bringing the embellishments. So the idea that I have is I want to use the flowers, the ones that I created with the color inks, to kind of create a division between the black and blue. It's not gonna say black and white, the black and blue stamping to the white part of my layout, and at the same time it kind of creates that delineates, that's the word, separates the stamping part from like the white part at the bottom. So I'm just using a combination of the florals. You're gonna see that I use the coral red. It's like really deep. I love the color, but my cousin is wearing a shirt that has pretty much the same color, and that's why like I picked up the inspiration for the colors of this layout. And I'm gonna be careful when I bring the florals there to create the small cluster there. I don't add that much of the color because it's gonna be very intense. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have a nice balance of the colors. I'm gonna add the pop of red where I need it, so I know next to the pictures, like the two pictures on the left side of the layout on the top card, but on the bottom it's gonna be a little bit of a hint. It's just one of the small florals because I already have, like I said, my cousin is wearing the red. I don't need to overcrowd that part. Then I'm gonna use just the leaves and the branches that come in the stamp set just to create some movement. Once I have that, I'm just gonna glue it in place. I'm gonna take it off camera to that. I just added a little dot of glue. I don't want to add foam adhesive. I don't want dimension in this. There's already quite a bit going on. I don't need to do that. Now, because on the little 4x4 cards are gonna go inside a pocket, I need to make sure that I trim all the excess of the flowers so that they sit nicely in my pocket. Once I have that, I am actually went through my stamp sets to find something that was going to create a nice title, and this is the Boat Adventures new stamp set, and I love that Let Your Dreams Set Sail. What I thought it was perfect for this layout because that's my little cousin, my goddaughter, who just won a medal in her first competition. So I thought it was a great sentiment for this layout. Now I need to just finish this, so I went into the sentiments, my stamp sentiments, and I'm bringing two of the new Amy Tangerine stamp sets. I am using a Fresh Start and Through the Rainbow. I just want some of the sentiments that are in those stamp sets and also those little hearts. I am using the new jet black ink to stamp them, and I use the coordinating die to cut them, cut them apart. And then all I'm gonna do right now is just kind of decorate my page with that. You're gonna see the repetition is key because I'm adding the stamping look. I'm going to repeat it in 3 places on my layout. So I just added 2 sentiments on the 4x4 cards and my little hearts onto my 6x8 layout. Once I have that, I need a pop of shine. If something I saw in Laura's card that she has a pop of gold, so I'm going to add a little bit of the ink spray metallic ink. This is antique gold. I'm just adding a few dots around my layout and inside the cards before I put them into the pocket, and that's about it. Can I tell you how much I love how this turned out? And it was super easy to put together, and I hope you try it. And as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. You can check the blog for more details, and as always, be sure to check us back for more beautiful content and subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys.
Hey there, Lydia here. I really do hope that you've just enjoyed the video. If so, please subscribe to the Alter New YouTube channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you can get your daily dose of crafty techniques and tutorials just like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.